Let's talk about the film Woman of the Hour. This is the directorial debut of Anna Kendrick. In this film, let me tell you, it got its premiere at TIFF last year, and it took a bit for it to come out, but it's finally coming out on Netflix, which is a good thing because a lot of people can see it, but I also think that this movie should have gone to theaters at least for 2 weeks, Netflix. Come on, I don't like this 1 week or no weeks at all at the theater. It doesn't make any sense. Like, we know you're doing it for a business thing and for shareholders, whatever the case may be, but still, ruining kind of the experience here. But let's talk about Woman of the Hour, which was one of my favorite movies I saw so far this month. And I will tell you, this movie is a lot. It is very heavy. There are so many dark and morbid things throughout. It is based on a true story, which makes it that much more, I feel, hard hitting as well. But let's get into this film. But before we do, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. We got a ton of things we're going to review this weekend because it's a pretty packed weekend for movies. So make sure you subscribe, follow us on our Instagram for more giveaways. Let's get into Woman of the Hour. The Woman of the Hour is directed by Anna Kendrick. It also stars Anna Kendrick as well as Daniel Zovatto. In this film, you follow the true story of Rodney Alcala going on the dating game and the woman that he impacted on his violent killing crime spree he was on. Yes, there was a killer on the dating game show, and nobody knew until after. I will go over the true story in another video because it is such an insane story. I didn't even know about this story until I watched the film, and I was baffled by this story of how the system and everything around these women let them down. And I definitely want to talk more about that in the other video I'm going to be doing about the real life story, so stay tuned. But what you basically follow here is Anna Kendrick telling the story of the woman who went on the game show and was almost like targeted by Rodney Alcala because he was allowed to come on this dating game show, which was a very big game show, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So it was kind of crazy that he would sort of fly under the radar and get into this game show after background checks and all of that. Daniel Zovatto here plays the criminal serial killer Rodney Alcala, who has a very extensive body count of victims he has claimed. And I really think Daniel Zovatto plays one of the most terrifying and menacing roles I've seen all year. Like, I was very scared of his portrayal of these like demented person, and it was something that I just think is going to be talked about as time goes on. Daniel Zovatto is really proving himself here to be such a strong actor here because there are so many moments where he has this gaze and you're just like terrified of it, and it is just a very, very interesting portrayal he does here, and I think more people need to talk about it pretty soon. I am excited to see where his career goes from here because this portrayal of the serial killer was just so intense, and I definitely think it's one of the best performances of the year as well. And Kendrick as Cheryl here as well, really strong performance from Kendrick. I hadn't seen Anna in a long time. I haven't caught any of her things in the last couple of years, and I definitely do want to go back because I remember now why Anna Kendrick's such a great actress. I remember watching her in 50/50 and thinking that was like 12, 13 years ago that Anna Kendrick's definitely going to have such a great career. And she's been great in a ton of the other things we've seen her in as well, like Pitch Perfect and all of that. But I really think that she's coming into her own now as this very talented actress and talented director as well in this, because Anna Kendrick really directs this so well. There are so many scenes that are so impactful just by the way the camera moves, some of the things we see, some of the things we don't see. And I think that just proves how Anna is really careful about making a film like this that is very heavy and it's based on real victims. And I think that's always the thing with true crime. That's kind of like not really my thing. I don't really like the sensationalism that goes behind it, as well as with the crimes and the killers. And you sort of see the victims sort of take a step back and just become sort of pawns in this story they're trying to tell. And we've seen this so far with a ton of things we could talk about here today, not naming names, but some recent things that have come out that are more about the sensationalism of it and just trying to get the views and the clicks. And albeit, of course, it is important to highlight these things, to showcase these like things that happened in our society so that they don't happen again. But I think sometimes there's a very thin line between like being something that's helpful and portraying and really trying to get the word out, and something that's just trying to get the money and the clicks and just be sensationalistic, you know? And I think that this movie really portrays it in a way that is both respectful and also showcases just exactly what happened here without trying to make the story into this big, like, hot click button of sorts. So really love that Anna Kendrick was able to pull that off here. And one other thing that Anna Kendrick does so well in her direction is the tension building here, because this is almost like a ticking time bomb. Like you see as this character that Daniel Zavato's playing of Rodney Alcala is continuing to build up this like sheet of victims, and as you see him go on the game show and almost get close to Anna Kendrick's Cheryl, you're just wondering, oh man, please, please, please get out of there, like get to safety already. And that was something that I thought was so expertly crafted here, because there were so many instances that this movie could have gone into and it would have felt flat because it was just so predictable. But here I think that Anna Kendrick does such a great job with her camera movements, with the angles she chooses to do so as well, and just the way that the film is structured, because it is told out of chronological order. And I really think that really heightened the movie even more, because at one point we're in the past and we're in the future and then we're in the present again. And I was just wondering where the story was going to go, and by the end it is so cohesive and put together in such a strong way that I was left baffled at just how amazing it was. Autumn Best as well is really great in this film. She does have a smaller role than other people in the film, but I think that her portrayal of a victim and the way that she's able to overcome these things as well, it's just so incredible to watch. And I really would love to see her in more things, because she just knocked it out of the park. Nicolette Robinson here as well has a minor role compared to Anna Kendrick, whereas Anna Kendrick is leading. But like I said, for Autumn Best, these two supporting women are just so great in this film. They really do deliver such a great performance. There's a moment in the end where Nicolette Robinson just lets it all out, and this sort of frustration that all of us as a viewer feel as well is portrayed on the screen so well by Robinson. And I really would love to see these two actresses go into other roles, because I think they have it in them to really deliver outstanding performances. Overall, this is a very hard film to get through. It is filled with so much of this frustration you feel towards these victims not really getting the help that they need, and also seeing just how these people that are so demented and twisted can slip through like the police system and everything that's supposed to be there to protect you. And by the end of it, it's like we only got ourselves to protect each other. And I really do think that that was just one of the things that was so portrayed so well here as well. Not just the whole true crime aspect of showcasing Rodney Alcala just going on a spree, but showing just how much of the systematic failures went into that as well, leading him to be able to continue to kill and do all of the horrible things that he continued to do so even years after. And just a very horrific and sad story. And I think Anna Kendrick told it in such a very respectful manner to the victims, but also in a way to highlight to the world just what was wrong with everything surrounding these details of this case. So like I said, this has some very strong imagery. It may be upsetting for many people as well, so I'll take that into account if you're planning to watch the movie. I'm so saddened it wasn't able to go into theaters, where I think you could really get a lot of the way that Anna Kendrick shot this film and the way that she layered the soundtrack and everything with it. It is just a movie that moves at a lightning pace as well, and it tells such a very strong, cohesive story with such a bold message at the end as well. So I think that this is one of those movies that I really hope gets a little bit more eyes on it come award season, and I am very hopeful that Anna Kendrick will become that director to watch out for next. So very excited for what comes from everybody involved in this film and their career, because it is outstanding. But let me know what you think about Woman of the Hour. If you enjoyed it or not, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We got a ton of other reviews coming out this weekend. We got a Nora review already out, so if you want to go check that out, go check it out. But I do have a video on The Shadow Strays, which is another movie coming out to Netflix tomorrow, so stay tuned for that tomorrow. And as always, I'll see all of you next time. 35,000 subscribers is the goal. Stay safe, stay positive.